Welcome to the Artefactors Union. I'm your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels. Today we are assembling the Cyclops box for the Neverborn faction and the Savage keyword. Box contains only 2 Cyclops by Cyclops. I'm funny. Good artwork for both of them on here. 1 and 2. Renders on the back. Large lads with pokey sticks. Right, let's look at the sprue. Here we go. Decent amount of bits for both of them. I think like 12 and 11. Interestingly enough, they're labeled Cyclops male and Cyclops female. However, I'm going to be using numbers because that's the only way I can keep track of these things. So we will just go on the order on the back of the box. So we will start with the male Cyclops. Now, the most interesting pieces are going to be our bits of the jaw over here, but however, we'll just stick to our normal order of things. We'll do the 2 halves of the body, go and do the legs. Each leg is split into 2 bits, and then after we're done with that, we will do both of the arms, and then figure out the head situation. I don't know what this piece is over here. Actually, I think that just goes on the back, maybe. Yeah, I think that's just the back. Okay, we will start with these 2 bits. Back piece plus a front piece. Right. Now, as far as legs go, if you check the render, the foot that is flat on the ground is the left leg, so we'll start with this one, that one, which is these 2 pieces, and then we will do our right leg, which is the bent foot, which is these 2 pieces. It's the inside of our left leg, and note that this right here shouldn't be there. I don't know if that's going to be on everyone's sprue, but you're going to need to trim that off if you want those pieces to fit together. That's better. Now add the outer part of the left leg. Now they're together. Seam is just fine. We'll go ahead and attach the left leg to the body. We pulled it out just to show you that it's kind of a weird way to go into the socket, but you see this edge right here, that is where it stops being the connection point. So this entire part is a connection point. So it's not even really going to fit in on this side. So that's how the angle is supposed to go on the model. There it is. He's really splaying out there. Goodness. Okay, let's work on the right leg. The inside of the right leg. Don't need to trim anything on the interior this time. Now let's add the exterior. And 1 full right leg, and if we turn that around, you'll see again there's a big old connection point. It's almost as wide as the knife right now. Goodness. Okay, let's add it to the body. Okay, there's our right leg. Nice seam all the way around. This is a really uncomfortable looking pose. All right, let's get started on the arms now. Here's our boy. This is going to be our left arm and then our right arm. Okay, right arm is going to end up being really close to the body. But checking the seam, it looks good. And this boy should be able to stand up on his own. Yeah, like that. So let's grab the left arm with a spear and do that next. There's the left arm. These connection points are so big, I recommend that you may want to just glue both parts of it. Usually you can get away with using your plastic cement on one side of the bit, but these are really big ones. So I think doing both is a good idea. Don't have to, though. Just if it falls off, then maybe do both sides. Anyways, let's wrap him up with our last 4 bits. The bit on his back is this one. It's just going to be more spikes. And over here we'll grab his head, and we'll do the lower jaw and then the upper jaw. And it'll be all done. Before and after, there's only one real way those go in, so just dry fit. And now add the head. He may have 1 eye, but he makes up for it in chin. Now the lower jaw. How did I get that wrong? I got the jaws switched up. The thicker, smaller one is going to be our lower jaw. There we go, now our last bit, the upper jaw. Snaps in just fine, though. You probably want to do the upper jaw before the lower one. That's my fault. But he's done. Put him on a base. We are done with our first Cyclops, and we're going to name him Polyphemus. Yeah, the jaws, for the most part, just getting them wrong, like completely wrong. I did not I should have paid a little bit more attention to the bits. Maybe looked at the instructions. I should have done that. Whoops. But other than that, it was pretty easy. And the fact they were easy to get in, it just got the order wrong, I guess. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Sorry that I'm cutting off the top of the spear in this. It's hard to get the whole darn thing in the camera. Let's move on. Onto our second Cyclops, we will, like usual, grab the 2 halves of the torso, put them together first. Then we'll get started on the legs, so 2 halves of the right leg, then attach that, 2 halves of the left leg, attach that, and do the flap, and we're done with the lower half of the body. We will do left arm, right arm, the back spikes, and finish with the head. Back half of the torso, plus the front half of the torso. We'll get started on the legs. This is the outside half of the right leg, plus the inside half. Now let's attach it to our torso. And there it goes, covering up one whole butt cheek. What? Right. Okay, let's get started on the other leg. Outside half of the left leg, plus the inside half. Put it on the torso. And there we are. We have a left leg and most of the lower half done. Now just grab that crotch flap and attach it. There is our lovely crotch flap. Okay, let's start on the arms. Our right arm is going to be, left arm is going to be the one not holding the spear. It is just sticking straight out. Okay, our spear arm is next. It's not next. We should do the spikes on the back first. It only fits in one way, so just dry fit. Now we can do the left arm. Arm is all done. Now just the head, and we'll be finished. Hey! Okay. Baser! Our second Cyclops is done. We're gonna call her Leela. And the hardest part for her was probably the crotch flap a bit, just because it's gotta squeeze it in there, kind of hard, and those back spikes. There's just big, thick gaps. You can see that right there on the back. I'm gonna try and fix that later, but also trimming it was slightly more difficult than I wanted it to be, just because you might actually chop off a spike or two if you're not careful. Yeah, that's it for difficulty. Let's look at the whole box. The Cyclops box is all done, containing Cyclopses 1 and 2, Cyclopes. I don't remember what the multiple. Anyways, not a hard box. Pretty easy. Again, the giants have not been too terribly difficult. Just the jaws on the first one were the hardest part by far. Other than that, it's gap filling. Really, it is. But yeah, that's all there is to say about them. They look good. Right. I've been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Have a good night.